All right, YouTube, we are here for the post-game analysis for the Auburn Tigers versus Oregon. And after much ado, for the last few months, we've covered Auburn versus Oregon. And finally, that game is actually, let me do some adjustments here. I think I have my stuff set a little bit too high. I want to welcome all the Auburn fans into the Vernon Speak Sports Arena. Definitely another crazy win for the Auburn Tigers. That's something that Auburn has become accustomed to doing with these dramatic victories. Big shout out to all of my Oregon fans. I've really enjoyed covering this particular football game, and I think it's I just you just can't ask for a better finish for the Auburn Tigers. It kind of sort of similar actually to the game in 2010 where you know Michael Dyer apparently was thought he was down, and then you win with the walkaway field goal, and it's just it's just interesting. I thought throughout this game I kept my composure. Of course, now I'm a beyond an Auburn fan. I've actually covered the sport, and of course you have to keep your composure. And I saw certain things, certain elements, and we're going to get to this, that kept Auburn in this particular football game. Early in the game, I feel that, Oregon had an excellent opportunity to put this game away, similarly to the Washington game last year. I think Auburn should have put that game away in the half, but Oregon just kept letting the Auburn hang around. And then I felt that if given the opportunity, this defense was going to come around. Okay, this is definitely going to come around and really start to gain some momentum. Now, here's a guy that I think should be the player of the game, and that is KJ Britt. KJ Britt had an excellent football game. He proved why he is the heir to the throne. Taking over for Deshaun Davis, and he exceeded my expectations. Another guy I thought played very well was Owen Papo, 5-star recruit out of Grayson, Georgia, really stepped up big, and you're right. Bass fishing freak, man. KJ Britt made a huge hit. He's well on his way, really to being an excellent football player for Auburn. And I thought he was a very, very good key to this particular football game. Now, let's go back to how we got here in the first place. Number one, when you have Gus Malzahn calling the plays, I know I was looking at the commentary on Facebook. I was looking at the commentary there's a group that I'm in called All About Auburn on Facebook. And, I really appreciate the fact that Gus Malzahn had the wherewithal to keep Bo Nix in the football game. I said it in a pregame analysis. Keep him in. I like the fact that he kept him in the football game, giving the kid to gain some confidence. Yes, he's made some mistakes. I thought he had, at times, his pocket presence was kind of shaky, but he stayed the course. Okay. The play at the end, how fitting is the story? For what's going on, Brian Allen. If y'all don't know him, he's been with me for quite some time. We used to do a lot of work together on Facebook. He's actually a Georgia fan. Obviously, I'm an Auburn coverage guy. He's definitely got a lot of great insight, for the Georgia football team. Big shout out to Brian Allen. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Now, let's look at some stuff here now. Let's get back. I know we're excited about the win, but let's reel this thing back in. Number one of the reasons why Auburn won this particular football game is, number one, they won the first down battle, which is something that you can become accustomed to with the Gus Malzahn run offense. I think Auburn had about 22, 22. Yo, I see you, Newt. Yes, sir. 22 first downs against Oregon 17. You know, that's something. That's how you keep yourself in the football game. Auburn actually outgained Oregon on offense, 382 yards to about Oregon's 322. Now, we said before, I said this morning in my game day prediction, I said that Justin Herbert would have to Tupac back. That's what I'm talking about. I told you. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Now, when, you talk about Justin Herbert, that's the reason that I talked about it earlier today, that he's not quite the Heisman candidate, is because in these types of games, he just tends to not come through. Justin Herbert, if you're a Heisman candidate coming into a game like this, you got to have at least 300. And he just didn't come through when his team really needed him, to come through. Now, I really like the adjustments that the defense made in the second half. KJ Britt played next level. I don't know. Derek Brown started to get a little bit more pressure. And it was just an excellent management of a football game. And people can say whatever they want about Gus Malzahn or whatever, but he did an excellent job tonight, guys, of keeping Bo Nix engaged. Keeping Bo Nix, when he made those mistakes, Gus Malzahn pulled Bo Nix to the sideline and talked to him. And kept him say, hey, this is still your team. No, I'm not taking you out of this football game. You got to figure this out. Okay? And that's why I have big ups to Gus Malzahn and his staff for keeping his team in this game. Okay? Not pretty. Not necessarily pretty. I still think Gus Malzahn needs to work on his first down play calling, which I wasn't too fond of at points in this game, especially in the red zone. As a matter of fact, probably the worst was when Big Cat Bryant got the big fumble recovery all the way down to the 1 yard line, and we're still struggling. That's one thing that Auburn has to fix. I love the fact that Auburn won this game, okay? But I'm not going to sugarcoat the things that I've talked about on this channel for months and weeks at a time, is the fact that, no, he doesn't need to quit calling plays. Now that I think, who is this? Dwayne Phillips. No, he doesn't. Gus Malzahn doesn't need to quit calling plays. I think now that he has information as to what really works, he needs to get Joey Gatewood involved, and he needs to kind of continue to, fix the identity of what he wants his team to look like. Now, here's the good news. Auburn has 2 weeks. You talk about Tulane and you talk about Kent State. I told you guys in my game day preview that Auburn, it almost cost them. Special teams is still an Achilles heel for the Auburn Tigers. Okay? That's something that within the next couple of weeks, Auburn is definitely going to have to fix. Because here's the thing. You talk about turnovers. You talk about giving up. They almost gave up a punt return for a touchdown. So I don't want us to be in this little honeymoon phase, to think that Auburn has arrived. But just like the Florida Gators from a week ago, you can fix more with a win than you can with the loss. Because just imagine Auburn loses this game and then has to go to Tulane, a game you should win, and it's just not a great thing. Abrams, Oregon fans, congrats to the Auburn Tigers. Thank you, sir. Oregon played their asses off, I think, tonight. I had gotten to the point where both teams were playing so competitively that, yes, I want my Auburn Tigers to win, but I know those are young men out there, competing, and it's definitely a great game for both teams. Unfortunately, I said in my video earlier, somebody had to lose. And Oregon just missed a lot of opportunities, had some injuries. I really started to see some guys fatigue late in the game, and just an unfortunate game for Oregon. I think Oregon gave the Pac-12 the best. Uh, you know, yeah, Oregon gave the best possible case scenario in how to beat at least a middle. I'm not going to say this because I'm an Auburn alumnus or just an Auburn guy. Um, you know, they did the best possible case scenario of how to beat at least a mid to high level SEC team, and now it's just an unfortunate thing that Auburn. I mean that Oregon couldn't pull this particular game off. I think they played a great football game. I will continue to cover Oregon because I think they have, oh yeah, Darryl Rogers, yes sir, oh yeah. Um, but either way, you know, Oregon is on to something. I think this loss, they can't lose a game in the Pac-12 though. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. That's why you got to win. Did Bo Nix? Man, these comments are coming so quick. But either way, with Oregon, for example, Oregon has a tough road slate in the Pac-12, and if they win those games, assuming those teams are ranked, Oregon has to win all the way out. Okay, in order to have, hats off to Auburn, you guys never showed. Yeah, they didn't quit. Couldn't keep it momentum. We had the first. See, this is the thing. When you miss the kind of opportunities, and I knew it when I was driving and watching this particular football game, when you miss the type of opportunities that Oregon missed in the first half, I mean, as Auburn starts to get that momentum and starts to get that belief, that they could actually win this game, that's when things started to get a little tricky for the Auburn Tigers. Has a lot of work to do. Well, they got 2 weeks to figure it out. They got, Tulane, Kent State. They also have a chance to figure out, hey, what are we going to do with, Joey Gatewood, Front eyes, bro, what a game. Missed opportunities, did hurt us, but what a game. What a game. That's all you can say about this particular one. What a game. It was a very good football game. This was a game actually played by the only game of this weekend that was played by two ranked teams, and they both came and they represented just as well as we thought they would. Now, for some of you betting folks, a little shaky now. Auburn covered the spread. If you're a betting guy, Auburn was expected to win, by 4 points or more, right? And with an over-under of 55. Now, unfortunately, if you bet it over, now I talked to my brother earlier today. If I was a betting man, I would have actually lost this because I would have bet the over. And I would have been, in really, 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 really bad shape on this one. Because once again, taking it back to 2010, you didn't cover the over. Okay? I think Bo Nix, who is this? Bo Nix, Joey Gatewood had a big touchdown, huge. But what a play for a true freshman quarterback. You've been dreaming about this. You've thought about this your whole life as a son of a, very, very respectable quarterback in, in Auburn history, Patrick Nix, to make the game-winning play. What a lovely piece to the story puzzle for Bo Nix. You couldn't have dreamed this up. You couldn't have scripted this up, any better. And I love the fact that Bo Nix actually made some very, very, very decent decisions. I think he still gets a little antsy in the pocket, but my God, you guys got to give this guy a break. He was playing against one of the more athletic defensive lines in the country. Okay, so to pull this game off, I think this is going to go a long way for the Tigers. the next couple of weeks taking on Kent State and Tulane. Now, the good news for you Auburn fans, especially you guys that like the tailgate, it's going to be a night game. And it's going to be an ESPN game. No, game day is not coming to Auburn to televise a Tulane game. But at the same time, guys, you don't have to worry about getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning to get your rotel dip and your barbecue going. Prime time, Kent State, no, Tulane next week, Kent State the next. You'll really start to get a feel for how Auburn can piece this thing together before SEC play starts. And like you said, George, obviously Oregon will have to win out. Of course, they have some guys who are injured. Hopefully those guys can come back around for the Oregon Ducks. But these guys played really well. The only thing that I'm questionable about is the fact that I want to see Justin Herbert take that next step. I just don't think he did a good job of putting this game in his hands and leading Oregon to victory. That's the only thing I'm disappointed in Justin Herbert about, is because, dude, you come back for your senior year and the moment is huge, and you let a true freshman upstage you when the moment was huge. So I appreciated NMD TV, No More Defeats. Definitely really appreciate NMD. Very, very supportive of the channel. Go ahead and subscribe to NMD. Supports Miami football as well as does coverage on the rest of college football, including Arkansas. Actually, NMD TV covers Arkansas exclusively. Thank you, sir, for the super chat. Now, Auburn, like I said before, takes on Tulane next week. Want to dodge the injuries. I really appreciate you guys chiming in tonight. A huge win for the Auburn Tigers. Joey. Now, see, here's the thing, King Jarrell. Now that Auburn has won this game, you're going to see Joey Gatewood a little bit more often. Any coach, not just Gus Malzahn, but any coach, you got to play it close to the hip. You got to go ahead and win this game and then start doing all the creative stuff later on. Derek Freeman is on the scene. War Eagle take over. Pistachio, the only other time should have come in was at the 2-yard. Yep, I do agree. Ray Snow, War Eagle, Vernon just giving a shout out from Crestview. I'm very familiar with Crestview. Mr. Stilio Chick, I like Bo, but he's gonna, yeah. Bo Nix is definitely going to have to clean up the decision making. He started to get a little bit better down the stretch, but now y'all are playing though. Y'all are joking around. Dresdy Williams with all of the Eagles. I appreciate it. Frederick Tabb. Now, special teams. What in the holy freak was going on with the special teams? Almost cost Auburn that particular football game. He threw some balls away when he... Now, like I said before, Auburn, Talladega County. That's what the heck I'm talking about. The country, baby. So, like I said before, Auburn fans, I think, just getting the win here, kind of like, say, Florida. Brian Allen said Auburn ain't ready for them dogs. I don't know, Brian. We might not be, at least not yet. We got a few weeks to figure it out. War Eagle special teams was absolutely terrible. Preston Lindsey Jr. is right. What happened to Jaron Handy? Really hope Auburn beats Georgia. Special teams, See, the coverage was really bad. I just really think that Auburn just... And I said this in, when I was talking about the game day, what Auburn has to do to be successful. And my third point, and I told y'all earlier today, that Auburn has to play better in the secondary. Did not do it. Very disappointed in how Auburn played. Cam Martin needs to get more touches. What do you think about this kid played his first game, be the top 25 team? And see, that's the thing that I'm talking about. with Bo Nix. They were comparing him to all these other quarterbacks, but all these other quarterbacks didn't have to play against Oregon. All right. So, guys, I really appreciate you all tuning in tonight. We got almost 70 folks in the chat. Would love to have 70 likes. Go ahead and break yourself for the likes. Now, here's what I really would love for you guys to do. Share the video, man. Share the video on Facebook or, I don't know, Instagram or whatever you want to do. We're doing it over here on Vernon Speak Sports. Auburn. Big win for the Auburn Tigers, 27-21 over the number 11 team in the country, Oregon Ducks. Georgia actually had a big win. Hey Brian, what was the score of the Georgia game? I can't. I know they beat the hell out of Vanderbilt, but I can't remember the actual score. Ohio State won big. Alabama got the 30-6. I thought it was worse than that, man. I thought that was the score at halftime. But either way, 30-6. I guess Georgia wins. Elizabeth Hurst clock management was on point. Almost. I was getting a little frustrated there at the end with the timeouts, but they did it. I said 31-23 for this game, so that's not too far off. Like I said, you better had bet the under because Auburn covered the spread, but if you bet it over, you did not quite make it. Zeus White is going to be a monster nuke, 5 nuke high. What's going on, Brian Allen? That's what I was wondering about Brian Allen is who is going to be the next guy. I know you have, dang it, number 7. I can't think of his name right now. But he is the main back for Georgia. How did I forget? Oh, DeAndre Swift. Swift, there you go. Appreciate it, Fi. The DeAndre Swift is the main guy. But when Georgia is successful, they have 2 good running backs. If you look at it in the recent past, you talk about, Georgia's always, like in the last few years, have had a pretty good run of two running back systems that have been pretty good backs. You talk about DeAndre Swift, and then you talk about Holyfield from last year. And Zamir White, hey, Vernon, I was more impressed with the third time conversion first down. He showed a lot of guts. Man, I like Bo Nix. I don't have a problem with Bo Nix. Okay, I think Gus Malzahn did the right thing in keeping Bo Nix in the particular football game. I still say we start off 7-0 going into LSU. That is very plausible. Or it might be Dalvin Cook's little brother out at Georgia. Bo Nix on the 4th down run. That was, one of the biggest plays of the game. It was a very close call. He just put it on the line, So, definitely, guys, the SEC didn't necessarily represent as well overall. You talk about Tennessee losing to freaking Georgia State today, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. Memphis beating Ole Miss. Like, what is that all about? But Alabama taking care of business. Georgia, LSU, and the teams that will matter down the stretch, taking care of business. The Wyoming game. What about the Wyoming game? Who did they play today? Am I missing something? Who did Wyoming play? The Corners played back. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all cornerback-wise, and I've talked about this throughout my channel, is the fact that, Tennessee, like, what the hell? So, Missouri, now I've got the news. Appreciate it, guys. Missouri has Kelly Bryant, and they lost to Wyoming today. What in the holy hell is going on up there? But anyway, back to this. That kind of caught me off guard. I thought Kelly Bryant was gonna. I thought Kelly Bryant was gonna do something a little different, but not quite. Angela Robinson, I'm glad they pulled it out, but they need to be more coverage was it was not terrible. Auburn's coverage was not terrible. You don't give up only 21 points to the number 11 team in the country with a Heisman hopeful candidate, and say that the coverage is horrible, but I feel you though. Appreciate the comment. Any thoughts on Joey? Now, here's the thing, guys. Joey will get more playing time. Gus had to go on and get this game out of the way. Almost lost it, but you will see Joey Gatewood more. Joey Gatewood, hell, you saw him tonight. He made one of the biggest plays of the ball game, scoring a touchdown for the Tigers. Big deal for Joey. This whole SEC talk, though, was trying to figure out where Seth Williams was all game. You found Seth Williams late. He made the play of the game, winning the touchdown, scoring the touchdown 27-21. It's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle. I believe in Auburn and love it. Y'all know about the Auburn Creed, right? I think the secondary played great, really tough. Yeah, they did. They did tackle well. You know, this is going to be one of the better offenses they have to play against. So, come on, guys. Give me your questions. Pretty soon I will get more technologically savvy and maybe get some call-in stuff going on. Yes, we won. Oregon was winning then. War Eagle loved to be a Tiger. Nope, they didn't. Who is this? Diana Isom? Nope, they did not. I disagree. The offensive line did not suck. They played pretty well. Oregon was one of the better defensive lines in the country. I think. How do you feel about the? I feel that. How do you feel about the interceptions that Bo Nix threw? I feel like he is a true freshman that was in a. He just made a mistake, right? Jalen Hurts used to throw like 5 a game. Ain't that right, Andre Ivy? Oregon coaching staff lost them that game. Man, Vern, I noticed that the offensive line, they played well. Like, what are y'all talking about? The battle in the trenches was absolutely amazing. Christian Cramblett. Go Ducks. The O-line could not get a push. What are you talking about? Yes, they could, especially in the second half. Booby Whitlow showed his behind in the second half. I know Oregon offensive line best in the country, but the fact we weren't getting. I mean, you weren't getting pressure early because they were throwing quick strikes. Hell no, you're not gonna get pressure on them. Do you think that Florida will be the easy opponent now? But nope. Florida will improve. Okay, Florida has a couple of weeks. They had the bye week this week. Then they have a FCS ball game, and then they actually have the game against Kentucky. So Florida has a lot of time to get themselves together before they meet Auburn October 5th. Auburn has one of its playoffs. Then we got to do the work. Yep. Now, how nostalgic is this? I really like to see David Porter. That's what I'm talking about. Great finish. You know, Eli Stove on the jet sweep, that was so nostalgic to me. You know what I'm saying? I really enjoyed that. Yes, Brian Allen, I do believe that, you know, I really don't, I really, you know, believe that, you know, they need to give up on Felipe Franks. All right. Bayou Classic. Still talking trash. I'm not gonna get on you tonight, Noop. I'm gonna let you slide tonight. Now, Auburn fans, like I said before, Auburn has a home game next week against Tulane. That will be a game under the lights. ESPN will be covering that particular football game. I think it's much love, Noop, for sure. But you don't think the Bo Nix eyes and man, shoot, man. How terrible. Man, these comments are coming too quick. Too early in the season. Yeah, it's too early. You know, I think, you just can't, Booby's good. It cramps, I think. But it's really too early to judge teams, you know, right now. You know what I'm saying? You just are not going to see, you know, where these teams are going to be, especially when you start talking about the stretch. David Porter, definitely. That's what I was looking for Auburn. And no, Gus Malzahn should not get fired. I think that is absolutely preposterous for anybody to make that assumption, considering how this game has turned out Alabama did not score in the first quarter. That was not weird. Duke is not absolutely terrible, but Alabama begins to impose their will late against teams, especially between the middle of the second quarter and the middle of the third, which is what happened today. Give me a Malzahn play calling. I say 7. Okay, I can take that. Few wins. Yep. Now, here's the thing about this win in Texas, guys, as far as recruiting goes. Auburn is starting to make their little push in Texas. Nice to win in Texas, right in the heartland of where a lot of guys like to, where Auburn wants to recruit. Swartz did not play. He didn't play. He had a damn huge cast on his hand, so he couldn't do too much. The win might look good. None of these wins look good at the first part of the season. 65 people in this chat. 25 likes. Let's go ahead and get the likes. Go ahead and share this video. And if you could feel compelled to do so, go ahead and hit the super chat. It doesn't matter. You can give $1.99 if you want to contribute to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. But if not, I appreciate your continual support here on the channel. Do post for any other teams? I surely do. As a matter of fact, I talked about Texas A&M. I have talked about Clemson. I have also talked about Alabama, actually, Georgia. I did a video on Georgia a little bit ago talking about how Jake Fromm is the most underrated quarterback in America. So go check that one out. Line finally made adjustments in the fourth quarter. It all looked like first game jitters to me. It's always first game jitters in the first game. These guys both teams actually look pretty good in the second half. I think Oregon started to wear down. They started, hyperventilating, having to put on the oxygen tanks. Did one on, I did one for Florida and Miami. Appreciate that, man. Now, let's see, the big game this week. Oh, yeah, man, Derek Freeman. Clemson and Texas A&M. Go ahead and, okay, now that we're here, now that we're talking about it, the week is going to actually start tomorrow. We're going to do some coverage on that. Go ahead in the likes or in the comments, go ahead and give your right now predictions. If you were to predict this right now, I want everybody to flood this timeline with what's your prediction of Texas A&M and who are they playing? Clemson. Texas A&M and Clemson. What's your prediction for Auburn? Van Dev, you made. Oh man, like I said before, man, Oregon is definitely on tap every week. I'm going to continue to talk about Oregon. If nothing else, I like the uniforms, and they actually have a chance to win in the Pac-12. They played a very good football team. They played physical. 38-28 Clemson, 35-21 Clemson wins by. Now, I'm gonna help you guys out. This game will be played in Death Valley, so that might change your mind a little bit. Okay, so I will leave you guys here tonight. We will be back on with Auburn football sports talk tomorrow. My goodness, David Porter, that is close. War Damn Eagle from Hawaii. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Smitty Raw, welcome back to talking here on Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. Yes, sir. War Eagle. Definitely believe in Auburn and love it. Great game for the Tigers tonight. Yes. Auburn versus Tulane will definitely be televised on ESPN2. Now, if you have the ESPN app, if you were moving around like I was today, you can actually access it there. Cedric Asher, War Eagle, Eddie Young, that's what I'm talking about. Every SEC game is see, the SEC is not like the ACC. The ACC has a network, but you can't. If you don't have a certain, you don't have a certain cable provider, you might not be able to get it. But either way, that game will be televised on ESPN, and it will be under the lights at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Tulane, we will do some. Also, you can do Reddit, college football. Do you do live stream reaction? I may do that soon. FSU. Oh, yes. Florida State did lose. I will talk about that tomorrow. I don't even have the emotional energy to talk about Willie Taggart tonight. All right, guys. Once again, it is Kennard Vernon Stewart here for Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. As always, it is always great to be an Auburn Tiger. Auburn wins tonight 27-21 over Oregon. Woo! War. Damn Eagle.